welcome back to JDME CKA exam series. So let's see one more important CKA exam question. The question says there is an deployment that is deleted accidentally. The deployment name is MariaDB and the MariaDB namespace. So all that is already configured with persistent volume storage. Now our task is to re-establish the deployment. While redeploying, we need to ensure the data is preserved by reusing the existing persistent volume. So our task is we need to create a persistent volume claim named MariaDB in the MariaDB namespace with the specifications. Access mode is read-write once and storage capacity is 250 MB. These are the specs we need to create persistent volume claim. And also, while creating the persistent volume claim, we need to use the existing persistent volume. We need to refer the existing persistent volume. So the persistent volume is already exist and it is retained for reuse. It is set as retained. And also in the cluster, only one PV exists. That's a persistent volume. Only one is exist. So once we create persistent volume claim, we need to edit the MariaDB deployment file. It's already located under MariaDB deploy.ml file, and we need to use the newly created PVC in the previous step, and then we need to apply the updated deployment file, and we need to make sure the deployment is running fine, the pods are running without any issues, and the deployment is stable. That is a simple one. So let's try. I'll get just set up that quickly. Let me get that. I have already, okay. I don't have any namespace also in my test environment. I will add that as well along with the persistent volume. Okay, so persistent volume, you don't want to worry about it. You will be getting in your exam, so you focus on the creating a PVC, right? And the namespace also you need to verify. If the namespace is not exist, don't leave that. It is required for us to create this PVC and all stuff. Okay, so PV is there now. Now it's time to create a PVC. So persistent volume claim, right? So persistent volume claim with the two parameters we mainly interested in, read write and the storage, right? So if you navigate to the persistent volume claim, right, the documentation, Kubernetes documentation, if you go to down, this is the volume part and persistent volume claim we need, right? So yeah, yes, this is the one, right? So we are only interested in this part itself. Let's move and create a PVC. Okay, so add the namespace. That's MariaDB, and the access mode is read write once, and the storage is 250 MB, and storage is 250 MB. The volume mode is not required. It's not necessary to add here. Mode and this the storage capacity, whichever is mentioned in the question. Go ahead and apply it. So kubectl get PVC and namespace you need to add. Okay, once that is done, now it's time to actually verify the edit the deployment of MariaDB, and we need to use PVC, which is we created in the previous step. So simply again go to your deployment again, documentation, and get the deployment skeleton right in your exam. Otherwise you can just try to run the try run commands and you can get it right. This is what this is how it will looks like, but this is this deployment already present for you in the exam, so no need to get any deployment from the documentation. Existing deployment itself, you need to edit the deployment and add the volume and volume mode spot, right? So I have already added that, and let me gather that and I will show you. One second. Yep. So this is the deployment, the namespace and name of the deployment I have just used, and the labels that are all. You don't want to worry about that. That is already exist. Only we are interested in, we have to add that persistent volume claim which we created as a volume once, right? A volume. That is what only we need to add in the deployment. The deployment file will be created, and it is already exist in your exam, right? So I'm testing, so I don't have any deployment file, so I'm creating it, and I'm adding the persistent volume claim whichever I have created, right? So that you can keep in mind whenever you are attempting this question. Okay, so I'll apply it. Get deployment followed by the namespace. Sorry, the namespace is MariaDB. Okay, so kubectl get ports and MariaDB. Okay, the ports is now it stays running, and yeah, it looks like it took a while to run. Now it is running. So if we move to the question, yeah, edit the deployment to use the created PVC, apply the updated deployment, and ensure the deployment is running and stable. Hope it is running and there is no issues with the deployment. It's running. And if you verify the PVC state which we created, see, it is in bound state. This is what we are interested in, right? So you can also verify PV. Yeah, this is the MariaDB PV. Okay. Okay, all right, for this question, that's it for this question. We have did all the steps mentioned in the question. So just a refresh, I have created my own persistent volume as I'm using a test environment, and after that I have created a persistent volume claim named MariaDB in the MariaDB namespace, and the access mode I have set as read write once, and storage is 250 MI. And then I have edited the deployment and added the volume mount and the volume of the persistent volume claim which I have created. I have added that and then applied, and the MariaDB is running. That's it for this question. Thanks for watching, and please subscribe if you are not yet. And if you have any questions or suggestions, please comment over. Thank you again. Bye for now.